शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। आद्ये गन्धादयोपेवम् अभिन्ना पुष्पवर्तिनः अक्षभेदेन तद्भेदे वृत्तिभेदात् तयोर्भिदा। So, the Chit aspect and the Ananda aspect is one and the same. It is identical. They are not two things, but where, as far as Sakshi Chaitanya Atma is concerned, just as Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sparsha, they are non-separable in the given flower. But when you perceive the flower, you have to perceive the particular Vishaya, the aspect from Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, with respect to, with the help of a particular sense organ, Indriya. So therefore, a given Indriya, a given sense organ is capable of appreciating or perceiving only one of the five, that is Vishayas, and therefore it appears as though the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa are separate in the flower. So otherwise, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha may be separate, that is fine. But it appears to be separate in that it is not separate in the flower. It appears to be separate because of the upadhi, because of it you appreciate that way. So also, Sakshi Chaitanya Sarupa Atma is Chit Sarupa, Ananda Sarupa. Chit and Ananda can never be separated. But the instrument of cognition, instrument of appreciation of these two is what? How can you know, appreciate the Chaitanya Sarupa Atma? What will you employ? Right? Here, nose, face, sense of face. Which Indriya will you employ? Mind, mind or not? No. Manasa eva idam aptavyam. But of course, it is not it is not Vishaya of mind. You have to begin with, you have to start with the mind only, buddhi. Mind means buddhi. You have to start with that. But it is not an object of that. Vritti is required, have to appreciate. But we are not concerned with that for the time being. But Chaitanya aspect is manifest where? In the Antakarana Vritti. In the Antakarana Vritti. What about this? Can you recognize the Chit aspect here? In this wooden piece block? No. Because Antakarana is missing here. Antakarana is missing. Only where the Antakarana is, where there the Chidabhasa is available, and because of Chidabhasa you are able to appreciate the Chit aspect. So, just as to see the form of the road, you need the eyes. So also, to appreciate Chit aspect, what is required is any Antakarana Vritti. Wherever a given any Antakarana Vritti is there, you can appreciate the Chit aspect. But to appreciate the Ananda aspect, mere Antakarana Vritti by itself is not sufficient in the sense all Antakarana Vritti will not be able to reveal to you and make you appreciate the Ananda. A specific type of Antakarana Vritti is required, that is Satvika Antakarana Vritti. So, Aktabhedena Tadbhede. Because of Aktabheda, Indriya Bhedena Tadbhede, the Bheda of Gandha Rupa Rasa Sparsha is cognized. So this being the case, Vritti Bheda Tayoho Bheda. Similarly, Vritti Bheda, Antakarana Vritti Bheda, Tayoho, Chidanandayoho, of Chit and Ananda. Bheda appears to be there. Okay? It's a Kalpanika Bheda. Really there is no Bheda. Bheda appears to be there because Chit is Ananda, Ananda is Chit. There is no doubt about that. But it appears as though because only a specific type of vritti can appreciate Sukha. And if that type of vritti is not there, only Chaitanya is cognized in all the Antakarana vritti. Therefore it appears as though that is Ananda is not there along with the Chaitanya. So, तद्वदेव वृत्तिभेदा चिदानंदाभिव्यक्ति हेतूनाम राजसात्विक वृत्तीनां भेदात् तयोः चिदानंदयोः भिदा भेदः भविष्यति इत्यर्थः. वृत्तिभेदा means the vrittis which reveal to you the chit and ananda aspect of atma. What are those? Namely, rajasa satvika vrittinam bheda. Because of this distinction in the rajasa and satvika vritti, it appears as though chidanandayoho bheda. Bheda means bhedaha. Distinction in chit and ananda aspect of sakti bhavishyati becomes there, comes into picture. Actually it is not so, but appears to be so. If that is the case, then can we appreciate both chit and ananda aspects? When is it possible, or is it not possible to appreciate chit and ananda aspects? It is possible in Canto 78 and 79. So, Chidanandayoho bhedaha kalpitaha. The bheda. Only because this is shown, don't think that chit and ananda are different things. One and the same thing, but the bheda is kalpita because the vritti that can make us appreciate the chit aspect and ananda aspect, they are not the same. There is distinction between them. Just as the eyes are different from the ears different from nose different from tongue different from touch, like that. Because of this distinction, so the given power is viewed from different angles. Continue. Sattva-vrittau chittu-saikam tadvrittir-nirmalatvatah rajo-vrittesu malinyat sukha-shotra-tirasrutah. Sattva-vrittau chittu-saikam. Sattva-vrittau chittu-saikam syat or bhavati. तद्वृत्तेः निर्मलत्वतः. Reason is given. तद्वृत्तेः निर्मलत्वतः तत्त्ववृत्तौ सुखैकं भवति. तु रजोवृत्तेः मालिन्यात् अत्र सुखांशः तिरस्कृतः. तु रजोवृत्तेः मालिन्यात् अत्र सुखांशः तिरस्कृतः. तत्त्ववृत्तौ चित्सुखैकं भवति. तत्त्ववृत्तौ in the sattvic antःकरण वृत्ति चित्सुखैकं भवति means there is oneness in the sense both are simultaneously cognized. There means appreciated. And sattvic antःकरण वृत्ति is capable of revealing such, that is Chit Chaitanya aspect and also the Sukha Ananda aspect. Why is it so? The reason is given. Tadvrittehe nirmalatvatah. Tadvrittehe means tattvavrittehe. Tattva sattvic antःकरण vritti is nirmala. It is pure. It is nirmalatvatah. Shuddhatva. It is pure in nature. Pure in nature. That is, pure in nature in the sense there is no vikshepa. No vikshepa. There is no agitation. So quietude is there. So therefore, just as the surface of a lake at the noon time. If the water is calm and pure, you are able to see the bed. Suppose the water is turbulent and muddy, even though sun is there, you can't see. So like that, Atma, Sakshi Atma is always Chitta Rupaha, Ananda Sarupa. But the Antःkarana, if it is turbulent, the Chitta is there, but Ananda is not available for appreciation. If it is serene, if it is calm, that is possible where? Only in the Sattvic Antःkarana. At that time, one is able to appreciate the Ananda. That is why Tadvrittehe Nirmalatvatah. Tadvrittehe Shuddhatva. Because it is pure, so therefore, that is the Ananda aspect gets revealed. See, in contrast to the Sattvic Vritti, Rajovrittehe Malinya. Atra Sukhanshaha Tiraskృta. That doesn't mean when Rajovritti is there, what happens? The Ananda aspect of Sakshi Atma runs away. Is it that? Sakshi Atma is always Chitta-Rupaha, Ananda Sarupa. The question is whether we are able to cognize it or not, appreciate or not. In Sattvic Vritti it gets revealed. In the Rajasic Vritti what happens in contrast to Sattvic Vritti? Rajovrittehe Malinya, because of the Malinya, impurity. That means that vikshipta nature, that means the disturbed nature of Rajasic Vritti. Atra means Rajovrittau. Rajovrittau. Sukhanshaha Tiraskృtaha. The Sukhansha, the Ananda aspect, the Ananda content, or Ananda nature of the Atma is Tiraskృtaha. Tiraskృtaha gets denied. Sihitaha is concealed. Is concealed means it is there, not that it is not there, but not cognized. It gets concealed. Sihitaha. It is Sihitaha. Tiraskృtaha. So therefore, wherever means Sakshi Atma is Chidananda Swarupa. But in all the vrittis, the Chaitanya aspect is appreciated, because it gets revealed, but only in Sattvic Vritti, only Ananda aspect is revealed. And when the Sattva Vritti is possible, if Sattva Vritti can reveal Ananda, so we can always desire for Sattva Vritti. Will we get or not? If that were the case, nobody will be miserable in this world. Nobody will be sorrowful in the world. Why? Is there anyone who would like to have sorrow? Everyone wants to be. You may desire, but unless you deserve, you will not get Sukha Vritti. And what makes you deserve it? Punya. You see, of course, You may say, no, because of desired object. Yes, that is true. But the desired object is because of punya, because you will not desire for sattva-vritti. You will desire for desired object only. Desired object means only you will desire, but mere desiring is not going to help. We should desire those desired objects. Then only because of the enjoyment, sense enjoyment, you will get the sattvic vritti which will give you the ananda. Sattva vritti is on account of punya. It is on account of punya. So when on account of punya, even the streak of smile on the face is because of some past punya only, okay? It is because of some past punya only, so not otherwise. See, that is the glory of Indians. Even they may be starving, there is a smile and a laughter on the face. That is some impact of past culture is still there. I think with the star TV, etc., that will go now. In no time it will vanish. But at least that is there in them. That is the impact of the culture. So the Swamiji has said, hey, have you taken the food? Sarma has not taken the food for 1 day or not 2 days. No. Hello, he's starving. I have not taken the food. At least that is that. You see in the West, all serious is right. So that is the impact of the culture. That is the impact of the culture. But today we have forgotten our culture and we are disowning our culture and blindly imitating the West. Of course, there are good things in them, hard working, etc. That those things we don't take. All trash things only we try to. Of course, there are many things we can learn from the West. Only they are there. But where we can learn those things are just that means brushed aside anyway. So that sattva vritti is possible by past subha karma, means by punya. Tikakara says sattva vrittau. How has it come there? Subha karmopasthapitayam sattva guna parinama rupayam buddhi vrittau. That which has been presented and come to us because of subha karma of the past is punya. So on account of punya, so that is in that chit sukhaikam idanandayoho aikam bhasate iti sheshaha. Bhasate bhavati or bhasate shines, is appreciated. So why this Veda then? That is Chaitanya and this Ananda, that is because of Rajovritti. Ananda content, Ananda aspect gets denied, gets covered, it gets concealed. For now, though Ananda is there, when the Rajovritti is there, the Ananda gets concealed or is denied. For this, to make one understand, an illustration is given. Because विद्यमानस्यापि सुखांशस्य तिरस्कारे दृष्टान्तं आह. विद्यमानस्यापि सुखांशस्य तिरस्कारे. Tiraskara, denial in the sense, in the covering of the sukha, which is verily there. For that, a drishtanta is given. Which is, you are very familiar with this drishtanta, but you have never thought of this drishtanta. Chintini phalamatyam lam लवणेन युतं यदा तदाम्लस्य तिरस्काराद् ईषदम्लं यथा तथा. चिन्तिनी फलम् अति अम्लं यदा लवणेन युतं तदा अम्लस्य तिरस्कारात्. अम्लस्य तिरस्कारात् यथा ईषदम्लं तथा एर्देर अध्याहार आनन्दस्य तिरस्कारः भवति. तथा आनन्दस्य तिरस्कारः. चिन्तिनी फलम् अति अम्लं. चिन्तिनी फल tamarind. Tamarind fruit. Chimpini phalam ati amla. It is very sour. But yada lavanena yutam, when it is mixed with salt, then what happens? tada, then amlasya tiraskara. That sour content gets concealed, as it were, gets denied. So, this is what I said. I think almost every day you have got some achar there. What is that achar? It is nothing but tamarind in the water, and of course, not just salt, along with that, chili. Chili, that's what it is. I never go near that. So, now, that one, so you can eat. You just try to eat this tamarind soup. So there are Mahabhagas who eat that also. But your teeth will start paining afterwards. You have to mix it with the sauce. So then that adverse effect of the sour content is the father is temporarily driven away. It is there, but it is not fresh. Don't think that sour content will vanish because of salt. You are adding something, sour content is already gone, and along with that, another half kilo of salt to increase the blood pressure. So it goes along with that. So those who are suffering with hypertension, then not others can eat salt. Okay. So like this, so that is that Tintini Phalam Ati Amlam, it is very sour. Yada Lavanina Yutam, when mixed with the salt, tada at that time, Amlasya Tiraskara, because of the covering of the base, obstructing that effect of sour content in that, which is verily there. That doesn't mean that because salt is added, there is no chemical reaction, okay? So because you have added the salt, and what happened? The sour content went away. No, it is verily there, but it is not fresh. It is not that is tasted that way. Then how it tastes then? Ishadamlam. Ishadamlam means it tastes less sour. Little sour means not actually as it should be. Little sour, less sour it is. Tata, in the same manner, in the Rajovritti, of course Tamavritti also, what happens is, Anandasya Tiraskaraha Bhavati. The Ananda aspect of Sakshi Atma gets denied, as it were. So gets concealed, though verily present. You can't question the presence of why verily present. Chit and Ananda you can't separate. In Sakshi Atma, Chit and Ananda aspect can never be separate. So therefore, this division appears to be there on account of what? Antakarana Upadhi. So the Vritti Upadhi that is there, and therefore it is a Kalpanika Bheda and not real Bheda. So far, so good. Now, Pura Paksha comes here. How do you ascertain? What was the Prakriya employed by the author? What is Priyatama? Atma is Paramananda, and it was ascertained based on the Viveka, based on the discrimination. Now, here the Purapaksa says, look, you may be able to ascertain like this, but this knowledge is of no use for moksha. Why? For moksha, what is required is yoga. Without yoga, how can you get moksha? So for moksha, what is required is yoga. You may ascertain Atma is Priyatama, that's fine. I agree with that. But it is, and how can moksha be gained? By aparoksha jnana. Without yoga, aparoksha jnana is not possible. This is a Purapaksa. Without yoga, aparoksha jnana is not possible. And just by ascertaining Atma is Priyatama, aparoksha jnana is not possible. Therefore, though you may ascertain like this, it is of no use for gaining the moksha. This is the Purapaksa. Now we come. Before proceeding ahead, let us know for in this discussion, the word yoga is coming often. So let us know in what sense the word yoga is used here. In this entire discussion, and now it continues up to the end of the chapter. The word yoga is used in the sense of karma yoga. And karma yoga also includes in itself Patanjali Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Though the Pura Paksha may tend to restrict the meaning of yoga to Ashtanga Yoga, we have to take it as Karma Yoga. But in certain stanzas, what we mean that is it is used in the sense of Ashtanga Yoga also. In general, the word yoga is in the sense of Karma Yoga, which includes also Ashtanga Yoga. We'll see based on Bhashya. So it also includes the Ashtanga Yoga. So, but when the Purvapaksha has got in mind the Ashtanga Yoga only, Patanjali Yoga only, he has got in the mind. He is insisting on that. But actually, it is in terms of what the author has said, Karma Yoga in general, which can also include the Patanjali Yoga, because after all, yoga is a means to make the mind ready. So, Patanjali Yoga is that. But in some stanzas, it is the premium is given to Patanjali Yoga, means that word is specifically in the sense of Ashtanga Yoga only. Now, this is the Purvapaksha. Nano Priyatamattvena Paramanandatatmani Vivektum Shakyatamevam Vina Yogena Kim Bhavet. This is Purvapaksha. Nanu Evam Priyatamattvena Atmani Paramanandata Vivektum Shakyata. Nanu Evam Priyatamattvena Atmani Paramanandata Paramanandata Vivektum Shakyata. Yogena Vina Kim Bhavet. Yogena Vina Kim Bhavet. This contention is like this. Nanu, the contention is Evam. Evam means all along that we have discussed so far, analyzed so far, and ascertained in this manner as we have seen so far. Priyatamat, what was the methodology? Prakriya. Priyatamatvena Paramanandata Vivektum Shakti. By ascertaining the Priyatamatva, that means the locus of the limitless love, the Atma as the locus of limitless love, the Atma Priyatama, the most dear, by ascertaining that Paramanandata, the status or nature of Atma being of limitless Ananda, Vivektum Shakyatam, let it be possible to ascertain or determine or discriminate. Let it be possible for one to ascertain or determine the limitless Ananda Sarupa of Atma based on the ascertainment of its limitless love Sarupa, because the locus of limitless love. Okay, that is fine. We don't dispute that. We agree with that. But it is of no use for moksha. Why? Because yogena vina kim bhavet. Without yoga, what are you going to accomplish? Because what he has got in mind, see, Nayam vivekaha mukti sadhana. Yes, tathapi Nayam vivekaha mukti sadhanam. This viveka is not a sadhana for mukti. This viveka by itself cannot be the means for moksha. Why? Aparoksha jnana dvara mukti hetuhu yogasya abhidhana. To aparoksha jnana, what happens? Yoga becomes the means for liberation. This is what the Purvapaksha has to say. And what is you are asserting something that Atma is Paramananda Sarupa. Yes, you have got an information now that Atma is Paramananda Sarupa. Itself is not going to give you aparoksha jnana. So, I am Ananda Sarupa, etc. This is not possible, for which yoga alone is required. So that means because yoga is not there, without yoga, moksha is not possible. So therefore, here this inquiry, though interesting to probe into, is of no use to gain the moksha. This is the end of the Purvapaksha. Bharati Tirtha, Panchadashikara, asking the question. When I first say, this is the fact. Then he asked the question. We will say that aparoksha Aparoksha Jnana is not possible by Viveka. The inquiry that we have conducted so far, certainly it is possible that Yad Yogena Tadeveti Vadamo Jnana Siddhaye Yoga Prokto Vivekena Jnanam Kinnopajayate Yad Yogena Tadeva iti Vadamaha. Answer is given like this. Yad Yogena. Is there a contention that Aparoksha Jnana gives moksha? You also agree? I also. Is it not? Aparoksha Jnana leads to moksha. That itself is moksha. Aparoksha Jnana itself is moksha. That we both of us agree. Now, this Purvapakha says yoga only can give Aparoksha Jnana. Siddhanti says Viveka also gives Aparoksha Jnana. That is what God approves for how it is resolved. So, if you contend, who the Purvapakha contend that yoga gives Aparoksha Jnana, I am telling you, Viveka that is the inquiry that we had conducted so far, equally can give Aparoksha Jnana. Yad Yogena means Yad Yogena Aparoksha Jnanam Bhavati. We'll see in the context of Ashtanga Yoga whether Ashtanga Yoga is capable of doing Atma Jnana or capable of discuss after. Okay? So we are taking here the yoga as the Karma Yoga. Of course, author himself is bringing the Gita stanza to make it that yoga also is Karma Yoga is meant for what? Karma Yoga is meant for what? Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana Shuddhi is meant for what? Huh? Sure? So, Antakarana Shuddhi is meant for Jnana. Mere Antakarana Shuddhi will be what? A quiet mind, but ignorant mind. So, Antakarana and the Jnana, Aparoksha Jnana cannot be gained without the Antakarana Shuddhi. So, therefore, Karma Yoga is certainly indispensable. Jnana. So in that sense, Yad Yogena, that is, whatever that by yoga, Aparoksha Jnanam Bhavati. So the inquiry is involved there, that is taken for granted. We will see the next answer will be taken elaborately. So, by yoga, Aparoksha Jnana is gained, iti Bhavati iti Tvaya Uchyate. So you contend, you are telling that by yoga, the Aparoksha Jnana takes place. Now, that is Tadeva. The very same Aparoksha Jnana, Vada iti Vadamaha means Vicharena Bhavati api Bhavati iti Vadamaha. We are telling you that the very same Aparoksha Jnana does take place by Vichara inquiry that we had conducted. Which the Purvapakha objects, no, look, yoga alone is said for Jnana Siddhi and not Vichara. Yad Yogena Tadeva iti Vadamaha. This is Siddhanti statement. That we are distinguished. Both Siddhanta and Purvapakha are there. Whereas Jnana Siddhaye Yogaha Proktaha, this is Purvapakha. Again it comes up. So this is Purvapakha statement. So when he was told, look, whatever the Aparoksha Jnana that can be gained by yoga, as you say, is verily gained by Vichara. That is what we have to say. For which again the Purvapakha comes and says, no, Jnana Siddhaye Yogaha Proktaha. For accomplishment of Aparoksha Jnana, yoga is prescribed. Without yoga, how can you get the Aparoksha Jnana? That is what he has got in mind. What he wants to contend is, without yoga, Aparoksha Jnana is not possible. This is Purvapakha has to say. For which again the answer Siddhanti gives. He asks him a question, Vivekena Jnanam kim na upajayate? Yes. Do you mean to say that by Viveka, Aparoksha Jnana is not produced? Means certainly produced. Viveka certainly gives the Aparoksha Jnana. This is what the Siddhanti has to say. And the question is, where is it? The Purva Paksha will ask him, where is it said that by Viveka, inquiry, Aparoksha Jnana can be gained? And you will ask him, where is it said that yoga gives Aparoksha Jnana? Okay, 50-50. So now let us resolve. Who can give the verdict? Parties involved can't give the verdict. So vested interest will be there. We have to find out. Who can we find out? Shankaracharya? Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna? No, not Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna has not told anything from his pocket. Nor even Panchadashikara. You remember? Krityartham dishadi kurmo tarkanna vachmi kinchana. Remember that, okay? Nah. Panchadashikara himself said, Krityartham dishadi kurmaha. So I am elaborating only the artha, the content of the Shruti. Tarka na vachmi kinchana. In earlier one of the chapters said, Tarka na vachmi kinchana. I am not here presenting my brainwave as such. It's a very good sample. Atmastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. To what extent? With that also, the statement of the Purusha the Brahmana, how he has elaborated. Never it gives something from his pocket. Therefore, here, of course, Shruti has already quoted many things. Brihadaranyaka Shruti has been given there. So what he says, he brings Gita. Because in Bhagavad Gita, both lead to the one and the same result. So how we will see that? You have done. 5th chapter is over or not? I think 2nd time is over, I believe. So no doubt about it. So therefore, when you come across the stanza, there is no room for doubt. So therefore, what is pramana? To say that yad yogena tadeva iti means whatever that aparoksha jnana that can be gained by yoga can verily be gained by vichara. What is the pramana? He says he gives Lord Krishna, that is Bhagavad Gita, he gives, and Bhagavad Gita is based on Shruti. And you may ask, why he has not given Shruti? He has given other things here, not that all the time Shruti has to be quoted. Do you know this much that Gita is nothing but essence of Shruti? Sarvopanishado gavaha. That is what Dogdha Gopal Nanda Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam. Gita is not different from Shruti. So here, it's so hard and fast that every time you have to bring the Shruti. Unless the Shruti quoted is subject to dispute, then finally you have to go to Shruti. When the Shruti itself is clear, which is based on Shruti, there is no need of bringing the Shruti. Unless that is the context demand. Here is the Pramana. Gita chapter 5th stanza is Yat sankhai prapyate sthanam tadyogairapi gamyate iti krutam palaikatvam yoginam cha vivekinam. Where the first line is 5th stanza, 5th chapter. Ekam sankham cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. One who sees the sankhya and yoga as one, one means in terms of result, he knows the real nature of yoga and sankhya. What is it? Yat sankhyaih prapyate, anvaya. Yat sthanam sankhyaih prapyate tad yogaih api gamyate. Yat sthanam sankhyaih prapyate tad yogaih api gamyate. Iti yoginam vivekinam cha palaikatvam. Iti yoginam vivekinam cha palaikatvam. What does this mean? Yat sthanam. Sthanam is mokshakhyam sthanam. Sthana here is moksha. मोक्षार्थम सांख्यैः प्राप्यते. Whatever that moksha is gained by Sankhya. Who are these Sankhyas? Sankhyas are, let us say, none other than Bhashyakara only. Jnananishthaihi sannyasibhi. This Sankhya, Jnananishtaha sannyasi is called as Sankhya, not other Sankhya. Pradhanam, etc. are involved, not that way. Second chapter of Gita, Sankhya. So, Jnananishthaihi sannyasibhi. Whatever the sthana called moksha is gained by the sannyasis who have got firm abidance in the Atma Jnana. Same, tad. Tad sthanam, tad mokshakhyam sthanam. That very moksha, yogaihi api gamyate. Yogaihi api gamyate, prapyate. It is gained by yogis also. Now the question is, who are these yogis? Who are these yogis? Are they Patanjali yogis, Ashtanga yogis? So the best verdict is Bhashyakara. Bhashyakara is commenting on this. He says, who are these yogis? Yogaihi api. Who are the yogis? He says, Jnana praptyupayatvena Ishvare samarpya karmani आत्मनः फलम अनभिसंधाय अनुतिष्ठन्ति ये ते योगिनः तैहि अपि कर्मयोगी. कर्मयोगी. Who are yogaihi? Yogaihi means yogiभिः. Who are the yogis? Jnana praptyupayatvena, as a means of gaining the aparoksha jnana. Those people who do like this, what do? Ishvare samarpya karmani atmanah. Ishvare atmanah karmani samarpya. Having dedicated one's own karmas to whom? Ishvara. How with Ishvarapana? Buddhi. Having dedicated. Phalam anabhisandhaya. While doing the action, the result of action is not the criterion. I am doing so because I have been enjoined so by Ishvara. For Ishvara Prityartham, I am doing this. So with this attitude of Karma Yoga, Phalam anabhisandhaya, anutishtanti ye, those who take through karma, they yoginah, they are the yogis. Taihi. You may say, that yogaihi means yogaha asya sthiti yogi. By those yogis. Taihi api. Now, okay, what they have got is antakarana shuddhi, but you are talking of aparoksha jnana. Yes. By those people. Paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena. They have got the right disposition now. They have to take to inquiry. Paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena. By gaining the Paramartha jnana. Paramartha jnana means the knowledge of oneself, Ishvara, real nature of the world, Brahma, all this. Sannyasa prapti dvarena. For which sannyasa may be useful and also kartrutva is given up. So Paramartha jnana sannyasa prapti dvarena gamyate iti abhiprayah. Gamyate. Same mokshakyam sthanam prapti. This is what is meant there in the Sankhya prapti sthanam yogaihi. What does it mean? Yoga by parampara. Parampara means indirectly is for Sankhya only. It meant for gaining the Paramartha jnana only. Yoga is the. Now this yoga also includes Patanjali yoga, the technique. Patanjali yoga is also a technique that is accepted in terms of Karma yoga. Shankaracharya himself says in 4th chapter, stanza 38. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitrameha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalena atmani vindati. यह ज्ञानेन सदृशम ज्ञानेन तुल्यम पवित्रम शुद्धिकरम न विद्यते. There is nothing as purifying as Atma Jnana here. How is it gained? Tat means Jnanam. Swayam means anayasena, without much fear, without much. योग संसिद्ध कालेन योग संसिद्ध आत्मनि विंदति. Yoga Samsiddha is, Shankaracharya in some Bhashya says, one who is Samsiddha means accomplished. Yogena, Yoga Samsiddha, Yogena Samsiddha, Yoga Samsiddha. One who has accomplished or one who has accomplished something by yoga. What yoga is it? Shankaracharya says, Karma Yogena. Yogena means Karma Yogena, Samadhi Yogena cha. Yogena is Karma Yogena. And also, this is Samadhi Yogena cha. What is Samadhi Yoga? Ashtanga Yoga. Means the technique for making the mind ready. Ashtanga Yoga also is accepted. It comes in the category of Karma Yoga only. Specifically says Karma Yogena, Samadhi Yogena cha. That is Yoga Samsiddha. What is Samsiddha? Samsiddha. What do you mean by Samsiddha? When we have learned Panini, is it not? Samsiddha is Yogatam Apannaha Mumukshuhu. One who has become eligible to gain the how? Yogena. What is the yoga? Karma Yogena, Samadhi Yogena. Kalena. How did he get this accomplishment? Kalena Mahata. Right? Okay? It took lot of time. Need not be this life, only in the past life also. Then what happened? Atmani. Atmani means Buddha. Swayam means Anayasena. For a person who has got such readiness of the mind, meaning the Aparosha Jnana is just like that without any difficulty. So, Ashtanga Yoga also is a technique accepted by Yoga. Where the problem already started. When earlier chapter was Brahmanande, Yogananda. In the beginning only, I have already given you at the midst, even where Bhashyakara, what he discusses and what he, whatever that is what this Sankhya and Patanjali as a philosophy, what they speak of Pradhana, which is Shruti Viruddha. That is what is this. Whatever that is in accordance with Shruti and helpful, that is Brahma Sutra Bhashya and Sankhya last one was introducing the now, this is what is, that means Karma Yoga, that is here yoga in this, so to take it in general, as a means of making the mind ready. And that is also meant for gaining the Aparosha Jnana, Paramparaya, indirectly means to gain the Aparosha Jnana. Iti yoginam vivekinam cha palaikatvam sruta. For yogi and viveki, what is the phala? Moksha. Does it differ? Oh, this is Viveki's moksha. That is Yogi's moksha. No. Both are one and the Yoginam cha, Yoginam Vivekinam cha, Palaikatvam means same result is Srutam. Srutam means, remember, is it? It is told in the Shruti. What is the Shruti? Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna himself said. This is the pramana for what he has said earlier. What he said? Yat yogena tadeva iti padana. What result is gained in the Aparosha Jnana by yoga, as you have seen, also is gained by viveka. You can't claim that yoga only gives Aparosha Jnana and not the viveka. You can't say so. Now it is written. That means yoga and Sankhya or Viveka, which one and the same? No. Then why these two paths are given? And yoga and Sankhya and make a perennial controversy. Why is it? Shastra, why should mislead like that? Shastra should tell you about what? Only one. Is it not? After all, goal is one. So one should either let the Shastra speak of yoga or let the Shastra speak of Viveka. Why should the Shastra speak of yoga? ननु विवेकयोगयोः एकमेव चेत् फलम्. If Viveka and Yoga were for both, only one fellow that Moksha is there, as we have seen. Tarhi, in that case, Anayoho Anyatarasya eva yuktam shastreshu pratipadanam. Among these two, only one should be recommended in the Shastra. Now Ubhayoho, both should not be brought because it gives confusion. We are not able to ascertain what exactly is required, etc. Now Ubhayoho, iti ashanka. Having doubted. Adhikari vaichityat uttam ubhayoho pratipadana. Adhikari vaichitya. Because of the different types of adhikari. Different types of adhikari. So, these are presented. These means are presented. Lokesmin vividha praputta mayana. Jnana yogena sankanam karma yogena. Two styles of living up. Because all are not available for the other. Depending on the disposition, we should give a push forward. Those who are not able to take to Sankhya directly, they have to be given the yoga, so that in due course they become eligible to take to two types of living. But goal is one and the Karma yoga is not for the sake of karma. Otherwise that yoga, it will not be yoga. What will it be? He will not be karma yogi. He will be a karmatha. He will be a karmi. So therefore, the moment you bring yoga there, you are employing the karma for the sake of gaining the moksha, paroksha, jnana. The moment karma yoga means, it is the means gaining the moksha. Adhikari vaichitya. Because the different types of adhikaris are available. So, therefore, Shastra speaks of both yoga and viveka. That is what is told in the next paragraph. Before proceeding, Achyutray Modak has traced he has traced the origin of this Sangha. Actually, this Sangha is not by Bharati. Really lifted from Yoga Vasishtha and Shruti. So we have got Achyutray Modak Sutta is very confined. Not only this, earlier Sangha also has been given there. Vau Kramau Chittana in that Diktika is a Diktika, Rakha Sutta, Achyutray Modak Sutta. Vau Kramau Chittana Shasya Yogo Jnanam Cha Raghava Yogastat Vritti Rodho Hi Jnanam Samyagavekanam असाध्यस्तस्यचित् योगः तस्यचित् ज्ञाननिश्चयः प्रकारौ द्वौ ततो देवो जगाद परमेश्वरः. Both are from the yoga system, and here the second one is bodily listed and kept here. Little words because that may be different from the reading it. So now, actually here in this stanza, what it means, that means yoga is more. He's taken the sense of Ashtanga Yoga. Before proceeding, let us see what exactly the role of Ashtanga Yoga. As against not role, the status of Ashtanga Yoga as against the Atma Jnana. Is there in Ashtanga Yoga anything told about Atma Jnana? No, it is not told. Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Yoga doesn't speak of Atma Jnana because it is a Chitta Chikitsaka Shastra. It is a Shastra which provides a Chikitsa. Chikitsa means a therapy, as it were, to treat the mind. So what is a Chikitsa? Chikitsa, a therapy leading to the complete absorption of the mind called as Samadhi. So, Samadhi, which is the Patanjali Yoga Samadhi, where ignorance is not destroyed, but it is a state of total absorption because yogastu chitta vritti virodha. What is yoga? Yuj samadha. Actually yoga means that samadhi. What is samadhi? Chitta vritti virodha. That means the extinction of all the chitta. This samadhi is represented as the chikitsa of a therapy to treat the mind. In fact, none other than Vidyaranya gives this distinction between the Patanjali Yoga and Atmajnana by presenting the status that Patanjali Yoga has got as against the Atmajnana Parokya Jnana. Actually, the context is like this. Atma Samstam Manas न किंचिदपि शनै शनै परमेत विद्याधृति गृहीतया भगवद्गीता Atma Samstam Manaskrutva. So abide in the appreciation of oneself. Na kinchidapi chintaye. Let's not one think of anything else. Let the mind be centered where? Absorbed in the chintana of Atma. In that context, so na kinchidapi chintaye. Let not one think of anything else. He goes on elaborating, and there he brings the yoga. And while bringing the yoga, he presents the status of yoga. What yoga is capable of and what yoga is not capable of giving. So that is it. Yoga Shastrasya Chitta Chikitsaka Samadhi Matre Pravruttatra. Yoga Shastra. Which Yoga Shastra here? Not Karma Yoga. This exclusively Patanjali Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Yoga Shastrasya Chitta Chikitsaka Samadhi Matre Pravruttatra. Means Patanjali Yoga is engaged in providing you the Samadhi, which is Chitta Chikitsaka, which provides a therapy for the mind. See, Pravruttratva, in that Samadhi given by Yoga, Nirodha Samadhau, in the Nirodha Samadhi, Atma Darshanam Tatra Na Sakshaduktam. In that Nirodha Samadhi of the Patanjali Yoga, Atma Darshanam, Atma Jnanam Tatra, in that Samadhi, Na Sakshaduktam. It is directly not told that. That is not the subject matter of the Ashtanga Yoga. Then he says, Bhangyantarena tu abhyupagamyate. There, Bhangyantarena, Bhangi means here other method, prakriya. By a method, indirect way it can be accepted. Who can accept? Vedanti only can accept. So he is elaborating. Vedanti, who has got the knowledge, can claim that, oh, it means if provided knowledge that Atma Jnana can be, but Patanjali Yoga directly doesn't speak of Bhangyantarena to abhyupagamyate. So that being the case, as yogi, which yogi now, not in the Karma Yoga sense, exclusively Patanjali Yoga, Ashtanga Yogi, who has got the Samadhi, and Samadhi, Nirodha is there. What is Nirodha? All the vrittis are eliminated. There, at best he can do is only appreciate the Swampada, which is Shuddha, means free from entire drishti. What it says is, Nirodha Samadhina Shodhite Tvam Padarthe Sakshat Krite Ati. By such Nirodha Samadhi, that Ashtanga Yoga Samadhi, though the person is able to appreciate the Swampada, means you, the me, Shodhita, free from all the drishya, yet what happens is, total Akhandartha Jnana is not there. Sakshat Krite Ati Tasya Brahmatvam Gocharayitum Mahavakyena Brahma Vidya Namakam Vrutyantaram Utpadyate. For that Swampada, to make one understand that I am not different from Brahma, we have to take recourse to what? Mahavakya. Not only that, merely appreciation that I am free from all drishya, etc., will not help, because the Satyatva of Jagat, Satyatva of Upadhi is bound to come, Mithyatva has to be ascertained where he has to go. He has to take to Shruti only. He has to take recourse to Shruti only. So therefore, though Swapada Shodhita he can appreciate, but Akhandartha is still not possible. And Mithyat of Jagat is not possible for him unless he takes recourse to Shruti. So therefore, that means Patanjali Yoga was taken as a means for the particular, to gain the particular state of mind which is totally absurd. What must have happened in course of time? The goal, that means the goal of Akhandartha was missed and they stuck to means of yoga. That has happened in Bhakti also. This is how philosophy is done. Actually, that means Patanjali, that means Ashtanga Yoga was a technique for gaining the knowledge. Like by Karma Yoga you get Antakaran Shuddhi, this is here even. But what must have happened? They, in course of time, they got stuck up to the technique and forgot the Jiva Brahma Aikya as given by Shruti and got stuck to the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya philosophy of this Kapila. Kapila Sankhya philosophy. Actually for Patanjali Yoga, Patanjali the philosophy is as a school of thought. As a school of thought today presented, their philosophy they are the same as Sankhya. Only they are Nirishwara, these are Seshwara. These people accept the Ishwara. But again the Ishwara is not our Shruti Ishwara. Their Ishwara is Tarkikas Ishwara. That's what they accept. What must have happened is Tarkikas Ishwara is different. Means that is not just on the basis of Tarka they accept. Shruti Ishwara, if they accept, no problem. Because Akhandartha is bound to come. That is not what they accept, that's okay. But Ishwara they accept, that's fine. So now, what has happened? The original intention of yoga as the means was missed and philosophy got crystallized. And the main purpose was but Ashtanga Yoga as a technique is an accepted technique. Now, whether it is practical or not, that is different. Last year we have seen. As it is for in terms of practice, what can be gained by that can be the same, can be gained by bhakti also. I don't know what about bhakti now. Karma Yoga presupposes bhakti or not. Without Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, Karma Yoga, is it possible? No. Now bhakti is indispensable. So that you can get the readiness of the mind, so that you can gain the knowledge. You bring Dvaita philosophy, what so in the case of Dvaita philosophy, bhakti has, means the Bhagavan has gone there now. That means the nature of oneself not different from Bhagavan is lost by God. So again a philosophy has got. That is the weakness of human mind. So that is means is lost. Now goal is lost and you stick to the
पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते।